Senator Mike Rounds is talking tax cuts and what he would like to see moving forward. We'll hear from him. People in Rapid City who are having trouble paying for the utilities could be getting some help. And some people living near a group of Rapid City apartments are upset about what's happening in their neighborhood. Your news starts now.
From Skyline Drive, this is KOTA Territory News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Jack Cottle. Some North Rapid residents say they've seen their backyards littered with trash and property destroyed over the years by loiterers outside of the Northern Heights apartments. KOTA Territory News' Adrian Carbajal took a look to see if those claims are true.
Connie Lemos moved into her house on Space Court in 2019 and says her first year living next to the Northern Heights apartments caught her by surprise as items were frequently taken from her backyard. She says since then, the foot traffic has increased and the problems have only gotten worse. RCPD call records show from January of 2022 to August of 2024, there have been 316 calls for service to the two buildings directly in front of Lemos' property.
Some nights there was hollering, cussing, fighting. Guys fighting guys, girls fighting girls. They would be partying, laughing, talking till 3 o'clock in the morning, and then a fight would break out.
But Lemos' problems didn't stop there.
Find a syringe thrown over my fence last year. It still had a little bit of whatever it was in it. Whiskey bottles during the summertime, empty, get thrown in my yard a lot. One time I had somebody's sock.
Lemos and other neighbors who would like to remain anonymous say they have complained to property managers asking for things such as security cameras and trash cans to be put in place to help alleviate some issues, to no avail. Lemos says while it's not horrible year-round, she just wants to feel safe in her own home.
The windows that they're shut and locked, the curtains are down, you know, it's my routine. And that I said I have a big dog because if I don't have the dog, I can't sleep. You need to be kind of accountable for these people because it's affecting the neighborhood, you know, the people who are around you.
KOTA Territory News reached out to Northern Heights Apartments owner company Mercy Housing about the issue, and they had this to say, quote, "We are aware of the recent concerns raised by neighbors regarding noise disturbances and unfamiliar individuals near our property. The well-being of our community remains a top priority. Mercy Housing has increased security patrols on our property and are actively exploring additional measures to ensure a respectful environment for everyone." Lemos noted she is in favor of subsidized housing and doesn't want to create any problems for those living in the apartments, but she is hoping some measures will be taken soon in anticipation of the summer months. Reporting in Rapid City, I'm Adrian Carbajal.
Spring-like weather has returned across KOTA Territory, but how long will it stick around? Chief Meteorologist Xavier Stradling is here to let us know. I've been here long enough to know it can't be here for good yet.
Exactly, yeah. We've had a few false springs. We're going to be seeing changes late this week, Jack, but we'll enjoy today what we have the rest of it of. And tomorrow, with warm air in place, plenty of sunshine too. It's sunny out right now. This is our Golden West Tower camera up here on Skyline Drive showing blue skies all across KOTA Territory. Not much in terms of cloud cover as first alert Doppler radar remains dry as well. That's good news. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s, so we're feeling pretty nice. There is the chance of the aurora to be out overnight tonight. The best viewing will be from sunset till about 11 p.m. That's when moon rises, a little before 11 p.m. But the moon is 94% illuminated, so that'll wash out a lot of chances to see it after 11 p.m. Temperatures will be falling into the 40s after midnight, and for tomorrow, we will warm back up, 76 degrees, but clouds will move in during the afternoon hours, and then a pattern shift for Thursday and Friday, which I'll talk about coming up.
Thank you, David. Senator Mike Rounds is signaling his support to keep tax cuts signed by President Trump in place permanently. KOTA Territory's Blake Trolley spoke with the senator and has the story.
Provisions of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, commonly referred to as Trump tax cuts, are set to expire at the end of this year. Extending the tax cuts is currently part of budget negotiations in Congress. Senator Mike Rounds says there would be a price tag to people in South Dakota from the tax cuts expiring.
It would mean as much as about a $2,500 hit to the average South Dakota family. And so about $1,500 of it comes directly from income taxes, and we don't want that to happen.
Rounds says the tax cut extension is facing some anticipated challenges in getting enough support. The challenges include some Republicans in higher tax states wanting bigger cuts before signing off. Rounds pointed to other possible objection as well.
The president really wants to do something about some taxes on tips, which we understand. He's also talked a little bit about taxes on Social Security and about making some modifications there. We want to do our best to accommodate what the president wants, but also to make sure that we have the votes in the House and the Senate.
Daniel Bunn, president of the Tax Foundation, says he would like to see lawmakers adopt many elements of the 2017 tax cuts, including simplifying the tax code and cutting corporate taxes to promote growth.
The business side of the tax code is really where you're going to find the bang for the buck on growth.
Bunn, however, says he has concerns about the current conversations on Capitol Hill, including that the proposals would overcomplicate the tax code and that the tax cuts aren't also being paired with significant spending cuts.
About 1/5, 20% of every tax payment to the government, every dollar of revenue is going to interest payments right now. And that could increase, would likely increase if Congress isn't willing to deal with the spending side of the ledger soon, and preferably during this process.
Rounds did express an appetite to slow mandatory spending as part of the plan when speaking with reporters Monday. A budget bill which would extend the tax cuts has yet to be finalized. Blake Trolley, KOTA Territory News.
The Pennington County Board of Commissioners recently decided they needed to study data centers and the potential impact they may have on public health, safety, and welfare. At this morning's Pennington County Commission meeting, commissioners discussed whether to impose a 6-month moratorium on the issuance of any permits for data centers. County planning and zoning officials argue the moratorium is necessary to give time to establish specific guidelines that data center applicants wanting to move to the area must meet. Commissioners decided otherwise with a motion to put Ordinance 797, which would establish that moratorium, being shot down.
I am confident that without it, you guys can handle it or whatever. So that'd be my position. Do we have a second? No second. The motion dies for lack of a second.
For more information on the ordinance, visit our website at kotatv.com for a link. The City of Rapid City has announced a new initiative to help community members who have fallen into a financial hardship. The City Utility Assist Program was organized by Rapid City staff members who are working to raise funds in order to assist community members in need of help paying their city utility bills. The city is partnering with the Society of St. Vincent de Paul to administer the funds raised and will help decide who's eligible for assistance with their water, sewage, and solid waste services. The fund will be fully supported by voluntary donations. City employees have already begun contributing. Invite community members, businesses, and organizations to join the effort.
When you're in crisis, the last thing you want is to have your water turned off or your garbage not picked up. These are essential city services, and if we can find a way to keep people connected to that while they navigate through other challenges, that's something city staff wants to support.
City staff will be kicking off the new initiative with a Pay What You Can soup dinner on Thursday, May 15th at City Hall. People living in the Battle Creek Fire Protection District have a decision coming up. And engineering students at South Dakota Mines get a chance to show off their hard work today. That's up next on KOTA Territory News at 5:30. Today is tax deadline day, and most people want to pay as little as possible. Members of the Battle Creek Fire Department are asking the community members they serve to consider paying higher taxes to keep funding their operations. The department includes fire stations serving Keystone and Hermosa, and they're asking for petition signatures to get a tax cap opt-out on the ballot in the future. Battle Creek Fire Protection District Board member John Esposti says other emergency services in the area reap the benefits of tax cap opt-outs. He explained why inflation creates challenges for the fire department.
Tax laws limit the amount of tax increase in times of high inflation to 3%. So over the long term, the buying power of what the entities like fire departments receive steadily goes down and down and down.
Esposti says those hoping to learn more can stop by an informal listening session Thursday at 5 at the Keystone Fire Station. Senior engineering majors at South Dakota Mines are one step closer to graduation after today's design fair. The fair had more than 50 projects on display for faculty and staff, fellow students, and Rapid City community members to come and see the students' year-long hard work on their senior design capstone projects take physical form. Students were also available at the fair to discuss their projects and answer questions. While the fair is a requirement for all graduating seniors in the engineering disciplines as well as computer science, it allows students to connect with the community, like one group of mechanical engineering majors who created an interactive train exhibit for the Journey Museum through the help of the 1880 train.
We were partnered with the Journey Museum, which is a local museum here in Rapid that specializes Black Hills history and South Dakota history. And they asked us to essentially just make an interactive exhibit for them. Definitely making a big impact to the community was really, really special, and getting to use actual footage from the 1880 train was just cherry on top. It was wonderful.
Dougal added the design fair is a special culmination of all the students' countless hours studying and learning through their time at mines. Chief Meteorologist David Stradling is tracking winter's return to KOTA territory. The details are in your accurate First Alert forecast next.
Now, the First Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist David Stradling.
It's a beautiful evening in Rapid City. The skies are clear. We have a lot of sunshine and temperatures are feeling quite nice. First Alert Doppler radar does remain quiet for us, and those temperatures are in the 60s and 70s. 74 out at the Rapid City Airport, one of the warmer spots on the map. Hot Springs just above that at 75. Downtown we're 71, 68 towards the Sturgis area, 66 both Belfouche and Spearfish. Our Northern Lights forecast is actually calling for the Northern Lights tonight. Here's what we're looking at. A CME did hit Earth today, which means we are going to be getting the Northern Lights. I've been seeing pictures on social media from Europe and into the Iceland area. Here's what we're looking at for tonight. A low of 43. That's going to be more towards the beginning of tomorrow. So we'll be in the 60s and then 50s this evening after midnight, turning to the 40s. So it'll be quite mild this evening. Now, another thing I want to mention is the moonrise is 11 p.m. So the best time to view it will likely be between sunset and 11 p.m. because the moon is 94% illuminated for tonight. So we are still looking at a very, very bright moon, which will wash out any chance of us seeing the Northern Lights from the naked eye. And if you get any photos, send them our way. Here's a few tips from us here on the First Alert Weather Team. Get away from city lights. Drive north of the light pollution. Here's a light pollution map that was made by meteorologist Ryan Larmy. You can see Rapid City here. Really a very bright, shining light pollution for us here. Almost looks like an avocado there. But as you go off to the north, it's where we have the least light pollution, which is great news because that means you could see the Northern Lights with the naked eye much easier. Get out of the road, so take your car, park it fully off the road. Don't stand in the road either. That's very hazardous. Turn off all your car lights. Let your eyes adjust to the darkness for you to be able to have the best chance of seeing it. And you'll also be able to appear as a white haze to the naked eye, and not going to be as vivid as those cell phone or camera pictures that you're going to be seeing. Here's kind of an example. The left one is kind of what you'll see with the naked eye, kind of a milkiness to the sky compared to your phone camera, and where you get those vivid greens and pinks there. So kind of a neat thing there. If you get a good picture, send it our way. You can go through our weather app. You can also do it on the KOTA website. You just go to photos and send in your picture there. We'll be able to air all of your great photos of the Northern Lights as we go overnight tonight and into tomorrow. 76 is the high for tomorrow. We'll be staying warm across KOTA territory, but we're having changes move in as colder air, windier conditions, more rain and snow will be likely. Right now we have a winter storm watch towards the Bighorns in Johnson County. Likely those locations are going to be seeing the highest impacts out of this. So as we're staying quiet tonight and tomorrow, a few showers move in during the afternoon. Thursday night into Friday, rain and snow showers are expected across KOTA territory. This model is a little more aggressive in terms of intensity of that moisture. I'm not expecting any real widespread impacts. At best, we're probably going to be looking at maybe a dusting up to an inch or so on elevated and grassy surfaces. Those temperatures will be down in the 40s after tomorrow's high of 76, and the best chance for any of that snow to stick will be in the Black Hills and over towards parts of northeast Wyoming. Mainly clear skies tonight, lows in the 30s and 40s. For tomorrow, we'll be in the 70s for much of KOTA territory, even some 80s towards Pine Ridge and the Badlands, staying warm throughout the day, but a few showers are possible late. Temperatures will be cooling off over the next 3 days, similar for Rapid City before warming back up to near 60 Easter Sunday.
You know, I've never driven out to watch the Northern Lights. Maybe tonight is the night to go do that.
Tonight might be the night, Jack. You don't have to stay out too late to see them because once the moon rises just shy of 11 p.m., that's when it'll kind of get washed out. So an early night.
All right, good deal. Thank you, David. Coming up, the South Dakota Mines men's basketball team has a new head coach. Plus, we check in with the Custer track and field team as the Wildcats look to build off a strong start to the season. Vic Quick has all the details next in KOTA Sports.
Happy dinner time, everybody. Michael Eisman has been hired as a new head coach of the South Dakota Mines men's basketball team. Eisman brings a decade of collegiate coaching experience to the job. His most recent stint was at Missouri Science and Technology, where he led the team to a conference championship. Eisman is expected to start on the job next week. Now, the Custer track and field team has gotten off to a strong start this season. The Wildcats turned in some nice performances at last week's Douglas Early Bird Invite. Now, the girls followed that up by finishing 4th as a team at Friday's Queen City Classic in Spearfish. The boys finished 5th as a team at the Queen City Classic. Now, Custer has a well-balanced team that can cover multiple events, and longtime coach Karen Karam is focused on having her team improve over the course of the season and performing its best at the state meet.
But we have some really talented individuals in the field events, some kids that placed high last year returning, a couple of standout sprinters as well. So we're looking for big things. We just missed out on state championship last year by a couple points, and so we're hoping to be able to make up those points and put some things together. My girls were 3rd last year, and we're hoping to be in that vicinity again this year. Sioux Falls Christian is an outstanding team, but I have some very talented individuals, a returning good sprinter, a returning group of pole vaulters, returning hurdler that should score some points for us.
The Rapid City Christian baseball team picked up a big win last night, knocking off Lee Deadwood 18-7. Comets are now 4-5 on the season. Rapid City Christian right back on the diamond tonight as it takes on St. Thomas More out at McKeague Field. We have some high school coaching news to tell you about this evening as Chris Stabner has stepped down as head coach of the Stevens boys basketball team. Stabner spent 10 years at the helm of the Raiders, leading the team to the most wins in program history. And other high school coaching news, Dan Skinner has stepped down as head coach of the Sturgis boys basketball team. Skinner spent the last 2 seasons coaching the Scoopers, compiling a 17-25 record. Well, let's jump on in for another edition of Big Ol' Fish. And this evening, Brantley Twist is our featured angler. Brantley caught this nice-looking channel catfish out of the White River near Rocky Ford. Congratulations, Brantley, and best of luck in the rest of your fishing endeavors. You too can be featured on Big Ol' Fish. Just send us your picture by using the Submit Photos link at KOTATV.com. Now make sure and give us the name of the person who caught the fish, what kind of fish it is, how big it is, and where it was caught. Get those pictures in, and we will get you on Big Ol' Fish. Nice looking at channel catfish right there, Jack. Tonight we should have a nice tennis match. Rapid City Christian on the court to take on St. Thomas More this evening. And I'll have highlights of that for you coming up tonight at 9 and at 10 o'clock.
And a big night for Twins fans.
That's right. We're happy to be bringing you some Tuesday night Twins games, and tonight is the first one. Over on Fox tonight, you can see the Twins taking on the Mets. The game is going right now. It just got underway. So once we're done with the news, turn it over there. You can catch the Twins and the Mets tonight. Should be fun.
All right, thank you very much, Vic. Well, you may or may not want to eat peeps this time of year, but would you be willing to turn them into art? Stay with us. At the Rapid City Public Library, spring doesn't truly begin until the peeps come out. Not the people, but the pastel marshmallow kind. The 10th annual Peeps Diorama Contest is filling the library with cheerful chaos. Cardboard boxes line the stairway, each one transformed into a miniature world starring the googly-eyed marshmallow figures. People of all ages can create their own diorama with separate divisions, teen, adults, and children. Library Events Coordinator Allie Quinn said not only is this a great way to allow community members creativity to shine, but also to get people excited about reading.
The Peeps Diorama Contest is a really fun way to have our community engage in some activities here at the library. It also teaches people about what our summer reading theme is. Our theme this year is Color Our World, and so we're encouraging people to create Peeps dioramas that reflect color, artwork, artists, and everything that makes our world so colorful.
And you can pick up Peeps and submit your diorama to the library up until this Saturday. Quinn says they're looking for more people to make dioramas, especially in the teen and adult categories. Voting takes place on Facebook from the 21st until the 28th, and winners will be announced on April 29th. I don't get it, but somehow you over here excited about stale marshmallow Peeps.
Yes, it's the best way to eat them, Jack. You open up the casing, you let them sit out, keep them up high so the animals don't get them, but yeah, you let them sit out, they get a little crunchy after about a day or two, and it's perfect.
Animals won't even eat those.
That's fair. That's I guess, what does that make me, Jack?
It's not for me to judge.
That's fair. Well, we're going to be having some very warm weather over the next 24 hours. We're staying nice this evening, falling down to 43. We'll be up to near 60 in the morning hours, but we'll climb up to 76. A stray afternoon shower possible. Then the temperatures really drop off. 43 Thursday, 44 Friday. Isolated rain and snow showers both Thursday and Friday. By Saturday, we'll be 55. Easter Sunday, 60. There could be a few showers each day next week. And Earth Day is Tuesday. We have temperatures up in the upper 50s to near 60s. So overall, not bad. We need the moisture, but I'm sure many of us are ready for that warm air to stick around for a while.
But that low of 27 you have up there is really sticking out.
It's going to be chilly.
All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you tonight at 10.
Thanks for watching KOTA Territory News, your local news and weather authority.